Welcome to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day with your hosts, David Towner and Sam McEwen. If this podcast does speak to you, please like, share, and comment. Let your friends know all about us. And now, here's your hosts, Dave and Sam. Welcome to Today is My Favorite Day. I'm Sam McEwen. I'm here with David Towner, the author of the book, Today is My Favorite Day. So why is today your favorite day, and how did the book come about?
Well, one of the things I think, Sam, is that we have to wonder, why would anybody watch this thing?
Exactly.
We got two guys in their 60s, and you're going, why would you listen to us, But I did learn a few things when I went through cancer, guys. And I wrote a book called Today is My Favorite Day. Yes, it's a shameless plug, but I'm showing it to you anyway. I think it's worthwhile for anyone, honestly. And Sam, I think one of the big things that we need to get across to everyone is that all of us go through really rough times, difficult times, and how do we get through it, right?
Right, exactly. Everybody has trials, tribulations, struggles. We both know many people who struggle with cancer.
Yes.
We both know many people who struggle with health issues and emotional issues.
Yes.
But today has to be our favorite day every day.
Well,
we always have to gaze at God, glance at the problem.
That's right. And so the big thing, I think, for all of us is that we have to grasp onto the idea that you're going to go through difficult times, right? We're all going to go through difficult times. Doesn't matter what age you're at. If you're 14 to 84, you're going to go through difficult times. And it could be financial, it can be emotional, relational, you're going through dating and your heart's getting broken, whatever the case may be. It's what do we do after those circumstances have hit us, right?
Right. And as we're coming into this time of the year, we're launching this around the holidays.
Yes.
Don't ask why, but we did. This is what we decided to do.
To add one more thing onto our plate.
Yes, right, exactly. Like we weren't busy enough. And so Thanksgiving is coming up.
Yes, it is.
And the one thing that really gets us through issues, problems, concerns is an attitude of gratitude. And you hear that, it's almost like it's cliche-ish.
It is.
But it's true. It's true, right?
Yeah. I was talking to my youngest grandson. He's a brain. I mean, that kid is smart. But what he did is we were sitting in the car and I said, hey, Jack, do you know that if you're thankful, your health will get better? It says the Mayo Clinic talks about that. There's a lot of different studies on it. And he was really interested. Here's an 8-year-old interested in why would Thanksgiving give him better health? And he goes, well, I'm young, I'm healthy. And I go, yeah, but what about emotional health? What about your relationships with your brothers? And he goes, oh, I need to be more thankful. And I think that's why you and I want to start this, is just to get, there's so much junk out there in the world that we have to watch and listen to. And it would be good for maybe two older guys to encourage people just to get through on a daily basis.
Well, you touched on it. We've been through some stuff.
Just a few.
Just a few things. And we're going to go through more stuff.
Yes.
And if we can be thankful, if we can realize that we have today, we have right now, but we could walk off the set.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And that's it. Our time is done.
Yes.
And if we're not grateful for the day, if we're not grateful for our families, and today is not our favorite day, then what have we gained?
Well, and I just want to be honest with you guys. There are days where today is my favorite day to whine. I mean, it is. There are times where I just want to whine and complain and just have a bad attitude. And I know we've all had that.
Right.
It's how long am I going to stay in there? I always joke about it, that how long am I going to stay in that black hole? How long am I going to stay in the muck?
Right.
Do I just put my foot in it, or am I going to roll around in it and go, oh yes, I love having this horrible attitude? And that's why for us, you and I wanted to, at our age right now, to be able to encourage people who are our age or a little older than us, but also encourage the next generations, right? I mean, that's what we want to do, because there are things we have learned, and we'll learn from you, hopefully, if you respond back to us. And our hope is we could get a lot from everybody that's watching it.
Right. We want to learn from you, as well as hopefully you can learn from us. So you wrote this book while you were going through cancer or post-cancer. What brought you? How'd you get to Tampa, Florida? I know you're a California boy.
I'm a California boy. Born in San Francisco, raised in the San Jose area, surfed over in Santa Cruz, Manresa, and steamers and that kind of area.
Wow.
Did a lot of hiking up in the Sierras and that kind of thing. So what got us here? Just a lot of different moves, because I was a teacher and an administrator, and then ended up going to seminary. with 2 kids. Well, actually, with 1 child. The other child came in the first year of seminary. and then we ended up going to South Carolina for our first church and then came here. And we've been doing the church that we're in right now for 23 years. So we have been here for a while. What about you? How'd you get down here?
Well, I got here by way of Pennsylvania, Wyoming, California for a brief period of time.
I remember saying that.
And back to Wyoming and then down to Tampa, Florida.
So you're a northerner coming down.
Well, kinda. I left Pennsylvania at 17 years old. So, and I'm over 60, so
you're not
really a northerner.
Yeah.
But, we make those moves. And both of us, we have a faith basis. And so we make those moves in prayer. We make those moves without hesitation if it's God's calling.
I don't know. Sometimes I hesitate.
Well, yeah, that's true. I will say.
Sometimes I'm a little weak in that area.
When we moved to Florida, my wife and I, we were down here for some R&R after a time when today was not my favorite day.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
We had some hurt going on, and we did some R&R down here. Never been to Florida. We'd been all up and down the East Coast knowing that it was time for us to move on.
Yep.
Got off the plane. We're in the terminal and we look at each other. Never happened before. This is where we're moving.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow.
And so we had a great R&R, got ready to come home, called my realtor friend and said, put the house on the market. That was in May. We were on the road in July. No hope, no jobs, no place to live, nothing. Just loaded up the cats and away we came.
It was funny. Tanya and I, our verse has always been Proverbs 16:9. The mind of man plans his ways, and the Lord directs his steps. So Tanya and I are planners. We always have been, and we made plans, and God, of course, adjusted those plans. And if you're a type A like myself, that could get you a little frustrated. That's why that verse became our life verse, because I like making plans. I like having things in order, and when it's not in order, I have to let it go.
Right.
And cancer made everything go out of order.
Right.
It was very difficult to be able to have anything orderly in my life because I had no control of anything. And I finally started learning I have no control over anything in my life. Yeah.
So walk us through the cancer journey a little bit.
Okay. So I don't want to make it as big sob story here. So what happened is I was having a lot of pains in my side one day, and Ruthie, who happened to be a nurse, one of our staff members here at that time, she said, you may want to go to the hospital. She thought maybe it was an appendicitis. So I went over there. Actually, Tanya got me and brought me over. My wife's Tanya, and she brought me over to the hospital. We walked in. I was sweating, and they said, yeah, you're probably not looking good. So they went and did a CT scan, and when they came back, a surgeon was with me at that time. It was kind of strange, and the surgeon just looked at me and said, do you see this part right here? And I go, yeah. He goes, that's your appendix. And then he goes, see this part way down here? I go, yeah, that's also your appendix. He goes, it broke. You have a burst appendix. We're going to have to go in and have emergency surgery. So I was in and nothing flat. 4 days later, they still hadn't let me out of the hospital. I was dealing with a lot of infections, of course. And the doctor came in with another doctor, a oncologist I had not met before, Dr. Crescentini. And they sat down and just said, you've got cancer, and we've got to make some choices. And so the choices were try to do some sort of chemo, which won't work on this particular cancer, or just we're going to go in and be aggressive and cut whatever we have to out. And so that was a little bit of a shock, to say the least.
And that's, for those of you out there, both of us have been in the room with the doctor when he says, you have cancer.
Yep.
It is not an easy thing. Nope. If you may think you are the biggest, boldest, brawniest man in the world, when that doctor says you have cancer,
it shocked me.
Yeah, me too.
I just didn't know what to say, and because I think mine was a little easier because I didn't have any choices. It was, we're going to go in tomorrow and cut you open. I went, okay, and so I went in, got cut open, and that's when they said that they pulled out 24 inches of my intestines, and it shocked us that they had to do that much. They also said that the cancer could come back in your brain and your lungs and all that kind of stuff. So that was never really good to hear. So my life really felt out of control. And I didn't know what to do, Sam, while I was laying in there after the second surgery. Because they did the appendix surgery, then they did the actual cancer surgery 4 days later. So I really didn't know what to do. And I was having a bad attitude. It was definitely today's my favorite day to whine. But I started hearing people yell at nurses and doctors, people who were going through difficult times. I go, man, I don't want to be that person. Right. And so there was a mindset I had to come up with, and it just popped up in my head because I remember Winnie the Pooh saying something like that one day.
Right. Uh-huh.
And I went, you know what? I'm going to start saying that. Today's my favorite day. And then beyond, that was like the 7th day in. After that, I had to make some choices because when just saying today's my favorite day, I would just end up being a whiner because I didn't know why it was my favorite day. And so what I did is I actually made some decisions to say, why is it my favorite day? And because I'm a man of faith, I made a decision to have it centered on God. Gaze at God, glance at the problems.
Right. And that'll get you everywhere if you gaze at God and glance at the problems.
At least it's helped me, yeah.
There's some principles in the book.
Yeah.
6 of them, I believe.
Yep.
You want to tell us what those are real quick?
Yeah, simple truths. We'll go over these different times later on, but real quick, this is what I say in my head every morning. I say, today's my favorite day. Today's my favorite day because I'm breathing today. God has given me life. He is my creator, my sustainer, my ruler. Today is my favorite day because I'm not alone. He's omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. He also loves me. I am loved by God, and He's gracious and merciful and forgiving. And isn't that kind of cool to hear?
Yes.
And today's my favorite day because He has a plan for me. It's a plan to prosper me and protect me and position me exactly where He wants me. And then today's my favorite day. He's given me purpose, meaning in life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that meaning is to love God and love others. And I do that with encouraging words, give hope, and serve people. And lastly, which was really big to me, was today is my favorite day because I have a home. I have a future. God has given me heaven. He produced it, and He produced it, and He planned it, and He also promised it. And that was a big deal to me.
Right, and basic, simple, biblical truths.
Yeah, then I went through back all that stuff and started going through it all.
Right, and when you get into the book, and you can buy the book, we'll give you some information on that later, but you get into these truths, and it will lead you to be able to get up every morning, face the day's trials and tribulations, and say, today is my favorite day. So you have bad days now?
Oh gosh, yes. Missing the amount of testings I have, I'll be sick certain days. I get my workouts in. I try to eat as best I can, though if I go out and eat a cookie or something else, I'm on an accountability email, a text with Sam and some other guys. And I told him, hey man, I went out and drank this big soda and it made me sick the entire day. I can't take that stuff in.
Right.
Then I went, 4 days later, no problem, I could eat a Reese's peanut butter cup. No, it made me sick also. So yeah, there's bad days. Bottom line is, I've got to still look at my day as a special day today, and I'm going to enjoy the people, the moments I have right now, because we're not guaranteed anything.
No.
Yeah.
I believe one of the things that I know you live by and I live by, and that is that every person we come in contact with, every person we talk to, every person who hears us is a divine appointment for us. It's somebody that God has put in our way that we can bring His gospel to them. Sometimes by not saying a word, And so as we continue on this journey of today is my favorite day, for all of y'all out there, remember that person standing in front of you is there for a reason. God put them there in front of you, and you have to be able to relate on a kingdom level and understand that God has something special. There's an attitude that comes if you walk through a grocery store and you can project 50 yards out happiness, peace, and joy. Put that smile on your face. Who
doesn't want to be around that?
Right. And if you watch people, and I've done this, and it's you'll walk into the grocery store that's by my house, and unless they sponsor us, I'm not going to say the name. But I walk in, and you see somebody all the way down the other end, and you just smile, and you can see the change. It's a positive energy. And today is my favorite day, is positive energy flowing out from deep within us.
Yeah, and we don't want to say that everything is perfect. I'm not going to say that.
No.
What I'm saying is that if we start getting an attitude that's better for in our mind, then we're going to be better for other people. Now, are we going to have bad attitudes at times? Of course. I mean, it's just a reality. I got cut off by a guy on the road, and I wanted to give him a one-finger salute. I didn't do it, but I wanted to, and in my mind, I was already in a bad place. I could have backed off, let him go in. There's days like that. My 8-year-old grandson, Jack, which I already brought out, we were bringing some wood in. He got mad at his brother, and he had a piece of wood in his hand. He threw it and almost hit me in the head and bounced off the fence. I looked at my daughter and said, get him in the house. Now, was that the best attitude in the world? No. But I went back to him and said, hey, I just want to make sure you know that you're loved. I love you. It's just you almost hit me in the head with a stick. And he goes, no, Papa, I got it. And I went, okay, that's good. But the bottom line is that we're not perfect people. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to get angry. We're going to get frustrated. It's what do we do and how long do we let that go? Or do we cut it off quickly, turn it around, act more like Jesus, love, give thanks, ask for forgiveness, make amends, do all those things that we're supposed to do.
Right. And if we're in Florida, and
we're fortunate.
Turn signals are, they're kind of against the law down here.
Yeah.
And so people cut you off all the time, and I think that's probably one of our biggest opportunities to bless people, is to bless the people who cut us off. Yeah. And so David, today is my favorite day. Yep. Where can we buy the book?
Okay.
How can we get in touch with you?
Yeah.
Any other information
Well, just simple things. You can email me at contact at davidtowner.com. So that's one thing. And you could go to the website, which is just davidtowner.com, and you could go and get the book there. And there's other books that we have on there. The bottom line, though, is that we just want to be able to encourage you and lift you up. That's what we want to do. We want to get you to a place where you could smile and maybe laugh at us. So we're going to have a lot of stories. We're going to give a lot of stories out, probably a lot of humiliating ones, but that's okay.
That's life.
And we'll be able to hopefully laugh with you guys, and you guys laugh with us, and we can learn from each other. And I think that's the key to this whole thing.
It is the key. And so we want to thank you for listening to Today is My Favorite Day. You'll hear us, the first one, you'll hear us say TIMFD from time to time when we want to shorten it up and we don't have a whole lot of time. And the producer director back there is doing this number. So we don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. But we would pray that you would reach out to David or myself. I can be reached at sam@aliveandatpeace.com is my email. Or you can reach me at our website, samandritalive.com. And if you have questions, you have a topic you would like us to discuss, please feel free to email us, reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to
we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun with it. I think we're going to do some marriage things, dating, finances, business. We'll bring other people in. So we're going to have some fun. I think this could be good.
I think we have enough talent around us that we can bring the real talent in, and we can just sit back and have some fun. So thanks for listening today. Today is my favorite day with David Towner and Sam McEwen. Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day. The views, comments, and opinions expressed here today are those of the hosts and guests alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD, Today is My Favorite Day, is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Vaught. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed, my friends.